Well, welcome to Tavi Studios today. Thanks for your choice to tune into our channel. This is another episode of Diaspora Diaries. Today, we embark on a headlines hitter story titles, Shadow of the Whitechapel, the legend of the Jack the Ripper. In the heart of London, the district of Whitechapel is a place shrouded in darkness, both literal and figurative. It's the year 1888, and the streets are veiled in a thick, oppressive fog that clings to the city like a malevolent force. Gas lamps flicker weakly along the narrow cobblestone streets, their dim light barely piercing the gloom. The buildings, ancient and grimy, loom over the alleys, their bricks stained with the residue of countless years of poverty and despair. Whitechapel is a place where the desperate and downtrodden scrape by, where the whispers of danger lurk around every corner. The narrow alleyways, winding like labyrinths, are filled with shadows, some human, some not. The atmosphere is heavy with an almost palpable sense of dread, a feeling that something terrible is waiting just out of sight. Figures in period clothing move hastily through the mist, their faces hidden beneath hats and scarves, eager to reach the safety of home or the warmth of a nearby pub. But even in the refuge of light and company, there is no escaping the fear that has begun to seep into every corner of Whitechapel. A fear born from a series of unspeakable acts that will soon plunge this district and the entire city into a nightmare unlike any other. For in the fog-shrouded streets of Whitechapel, a shadow is lurking. A shadow that will soon earn a name that echoes through history. Jack the Ripper. The scene is gruesome and shocking, even for a district as rough as Whitechapel. The narrow, dimly lit alley where Mary Ann Nichols was found is eerily quiet, save for the faint sound of dripping water from the recent rain. The cobblestones are slick, reflecting the weak light from a distant gas lamp. A few horrified onlookers have gathered, their faces pale with fear and relief. They stand back, whispering among themselves while the authorities begin to cordon off the area. The mutilation of her body is unlike anything they've seen before, and a sense of panic begins to spread through the crowd. Who could commit such a heinous act? The name Jack the Ripper has not yet been coined, but the legend is already beginning to take shape. As the killings continue, the brutality only escalates. On November 9th, 1888, Mary Jane Kelly, a young woman in her 20s, becomes the Ripper's most infamous victim. Her body is discovered in her small, squalid room at Miller's Court. The room is dimly lit by a single flickering candle, casting long, eerie shadows on the blood-stained walls. The air inside is thick and oppressive, filled with the scent of death. Her body is found on the bed, horrifically mutilated in a way that surpasses the violence of the previous murders. The furniture is old and shabby, and personal items are scattered around, adding a tragic note to the horrifying scene. The sheer savagery of the crime leaves even the most hardened investigators shaken, as the horror of Jack the Ripper's deeds reaches a grim crescendo. With each murder, the mystery deepens, and the list of suspects grows. Theories and rumors swirl through the streets of Whitechapel and beyond. In a darkened room, a large wooden desk is covered in old papers, letters, and photographs of various suspects. The most prominent names include Montague John Druitt, a barrister and teacher, Aaron Kosminski, a Polish Jew who was committed to an asylum, and Sir William Gull, the royal physician. On the wall behind the desk, newspaper clippings and sketches of these men are pinned up, connected by pieces of string in a web-like fashion, symbolizing the complex and often contradictory web of theories surrounding the case. The room is dim, the air heavy with the weight of unsolved mysteries, as each new theory brings more questions than answers. As the terror continues to grip London, the authorities receive taunting letters, supposedly from the killer himself. The most infamous of these are the Dear Boss letter and the From Hell letter. The letters are written in a distinctive, mocking hand, filled with chilling boasts and cryptic threats. The From Hell letter is accompanied by a small, aged box containing what appears to be a piece of a human kidney, claimed by the writer to have been taken from one of the victims. These letters are placed side by side on an old wooden table, their sinister nature heightened by the dim lighting of the room. Surrounding the letters are old, yellowed newspapers and a quill pen dipped in red ink, further enhancing the eerie atmosphere. The letters add a new layer of horror to the case, as the killer seems relish the fear he has instilled the city. Despite numerous investigations and countless theories, the true identity of Jack the Ripper remains a mystery to this day. His legacy, however, endures. The final scene takes us back to the foggy streets of Whitechapel, now deserted and silent, save for the occasional echo of footsteps. A solitary figure, perhaps the Ripper himself, disappears into the mist, leaving behind nothing but fear and unanswered questions. The empty street is bathed in the dim glow of gas lamps, the buildings standing dark and ominous. The atmosphere is heavy with a lingering sense of dread, as if the shadow of Jack the Ripper still haunts the area. Thank you for watching our Diaspora Stories Episode 2, Jack the Ripper. Your support means everything to us. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share this video with others who love intense and engaging stories. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, feel free to reach out to me via WhatsApp at +254 5 22 829.